Teven geeing up his players, asking for quick play the balls. He got it. Craig Wilson shows the ball, decides to hang on to it. He was met and put on the ground by Scott Goulet, assisted by Brad Fittler. They're inside Rooster territory now. Pizzette, they've got a nice deep back line set, the South Queensland side. That's Tchaikovsky, the fullback. He offloads now to Dave Watson, who turns the ball back on the inside to Retchless. He made good yardage before being met by Ivan Cleary. A tackle that had to be made, Brian.
No word, it was one-on-one that. He did the job, Cleary. They found a nice hole and still more pressure for the Roosters.
South Queensland have a couple of tackles left. There's a kick through by Craig Wilson coming across for the Roosters in cover. A couple of players. It's been dived on. That could be a try for South Queensland. They made a mess of it, Sydney City.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a try for the South Queensland side after 7.5 minutes of play here at the Sydney Football Stadium.
Well, this is a wonderfully weighted kick by Craig Wilson, the man in centre screen there. He's done a great job in grubbering that ball through the back of the defensive line. There it is. Look at the weight on it. Just perfect, right near the try line. Oh, maybe that was grounded just short of the line by the Eastern Suburb or the Sydney Rooster player. But it did appear to be grounded first by the white jersey of... No, it was well short of the line. Oh, and the second attempt was missed. And that does appear to be a correct ruling. The touch judge had a pretty fair look at it. They weren't too happy about it, but it looks as if it's right on the money.
John Jones. Out to Dave Watson, linking up on his outside with Tukey playing in jumper number 16 from the interchange bench. Now Watson trying to get himself involved. He picks up Retchless, who got a nice pass away. South Queensland have made good meters here. Pizzette.
Here's a chance.
15 out from the Roosters try line. Now with Wilson. Nice pass to Hudson. He'll get there. Jason Hudson scores for South Queensland. Well, it was sheer weight of numbers on the western side of the ground, and that takes South Queensland to 8. They lead the Roosters 8 points to 0, 19 minutes out from half-time.
Well, they've converted this now, haven't they? This territorial pressure. They've enjoyed all of this pressure. Pizzette taking the ball to the line, that's clever play, but this is the pass. That's a great ball across the front. Hasn't Hudson, you called it earlier, David. He's got great footwork, he's got good speed. He's playing like Mark Prothero and Clinton O'Brien against his old club. He'll really enjoy that. Look at that ball, but this one, across the face, good footwork off the left and in low and hard. That's a good try. What a great confidence booster. Who said they couldn't win this game?
Well, I mean, yourself. And you'll see more league on Sports Australia this year than anywhere else. Now it's Craig Wilson. He's 40 out from the Sydney City try line, 15 in from the Western touch line. Hewitt has the hand up in the air. Oh, what about that pass? Well, what are you doing, Craig Teven? I was about to say it's the last tackle. He's blatantly thrown that a metre forward.
You just can't understand that. He's a very experienced player, Craig Teven. We get a very accurate shot here. Look, it was an untidy play of the ball. I think Wilson was injured, but he must have had a brain explosion there. And Big Mark Tukey did well to concentrate enough to catch it, but nevertheless the referee spotted it. And now they're back under some form of pressure. Time.
They're out enthusing Sydney City. They're committed. It's what it takes to win football games. Sydney City are now 15 out from the South Queensland line. Sydney City are looking very disorientated. They're not organised.
Look out.
Here they come now through their skipper, Brad Fittler. Back on the inside to Matt Singh. He hits the accelerator, but was pulled up 1 metre short of the line. It's Junie at acting half. He throws the ball to Fittler. Up goes the up and under, and it's a very good pressure kick. This is Stacks on the mill. I think you're going to find that's a try. It certainly is to Ivan Cleary. He left high above the pack, AFL style Cleary, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Sydney City. Magnificent kick by Brad Fittler, who summed it up beautifully. They were short on numbers out there, South Queensland, and they hit back, but they still trail South Queensland. The score now 8-4. With the kick to come for Sydney City.
Well, they came up empty on the rest of the set, but there's one very, very good dart. Perfectly placed and weighted, and Cleary jumping, Aussie rules style. He's very good at that part of the game, but that's a great kick. So composed. He was almost under no pressure at all, and they'll be disappointed with that, the Queensland Crushers, the Sydney City team. They've accommodated everything so far, not had their line really fractured badly yet.
Good pass there by the former Dragon, Scott Goulet, offloaded around the corner style. Now Brad Fittler's got it. He's got some time. South Queensland slow to move up there. He threw a long pass to Matt Singh, who in turn threw it back to Lowry. Now from Luke Ricketson, it goes to I think it's Regon getting up to play it for Sydney City. It was Scott Logan, in fact, I beg your pardon, from Fittler. Now it goes through Regon. Scott Goulet, he's got the big legs pumping. He threw it on the outside. Now Walker's got it. That was a miracle ball and a great catch by Walker. He puts the kick through. Well, I don't think the fans here were all that appreciative of that ploy. Some holding back there as well. That's what they were screaming about. And Hewitt gives Sydney City the penalty. And really, that shouldn't have happened from South Queensland's point of view.
Some great play by the Roosters. They really put some great passes together. I didn't think there was any need for him to hold back here. Maybe a trifle unlucky there.
So Matt Singh slots himself into acting half there, 2 metres out from the South Queensland try line. Brad Fittler. Now it's Regon, steps off his left, makes half a break, dangerously close to scoring. Here they go through Dale Shearer. Now Luke Ricketson, just sheer weight of numbers. Scott Goulet crashes over. Easy try for Sydney City. South Queensland have lost their concentration and their intensity in the last 5 or so minutes, Brian. 10-8 the Roosters lead.
Well, Sydney City have started to get a lot more offloads away in the tackle. They're being met strongly, but sometimes just slipping the ball out of the tackle. And the weight of possession and the pressure right on the line here left them all over the shop. I mean, they're just done for numbers badly. Scotty Goulet, as he likes to do, lurking out wide there, right on the edge. Look at him out in the extremities of the field, but he's big enough and fast enough out there to handle himself. Up to half-time, it's imperative for the Crushers not to let them get away. They're still well and truly in touch, and they will retain some confidence if they can just hold on to them here. But I smell that the Roosters have really lifted in the last few minutes, and they're starting to show the abundance of talent that they do have.
Yeah, they sure are. Inspirational run by Brad Fittler from Walker. Here comes the Sydney City machine. It's well oiled, and it's now starting to click into top gear as Luke Ricketson gets up and plays at 41 out from his own try line. Scott Logan for Sydney City. He gets up to the halfway. Benetti at acting half. Goulet steps off his left. Made some ground before linking up again with Ricketson. Gee, they've made some yardage here in 3 tackles. 31 out now from the South Queensland line. Benetti, Walker. Now Regon. He claps on the pace. In fact, it is Regon, and he's going to go all the way and score a very good solo try. I don't know what else to say. He took the ball, the defence was non-existent. He showed plenty of pace, pinned his ears back, and Regon, who's having a very good start to this season, has added another 4 points. 16 points to 8 they lead.
The right side is really struggling for the Crushers in the last 10 minutes or so. You see the spread here. Regon carrying the ball in 2 hands initially, puts that right side defence under some pressure. I thought Tchaikovsky's positional play was a bit suspect here. He did make the tackle, but far too late. He needed to get out and attack. But you'll see here, 14, not getting across to make that tackle. Antonic, 11 was Prothero asking him, begging him, please come, keep coming here. We're done for numbers on this right side of the park. But Regon showing great pace. He's centre and in the back row. He held the ball in 2 hands, which put the defence under some pressure, and then he had the pace to go right on with the job. And the Horses bolted in a very short space of time. They've gone from being 8-0 down to 16-8 with the kick to come.
16 out from the South Queensland line. Darren Junee taken in a tackle that had to be made by Craig Wilson. They're 10 out now. The boys from Bondi Junction, Brad Fittler, the big step back on the inside, picked up Shane Regon. Equal to the task was Craig Wilson in the defensive department. Benetti will slot himself into dummy half. Can they sustain this kind of pressure? South Queensland, Matt Singh's got the ball. Oh, he just stood him up, and Matt Singh puts the football down. He'll never score an easier try. That was no contest. No contest whatsoever. It's 22 points to 10 now in favour of Sydney City. He won't score an easier one, Brian. Here's the replay.
Oh, it's a beautiful play. He has got some pace, but
Hudson fell for it. Hook, line and sinker.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to...
You've got to play the man with the ball.
Well, he'd buy a used car off anyone. I think Jason Hudson, if he'd buy that. I mean, That's almost Z-grade stuff, that.
Well, I spoke about the mistake rate of the player in the first half. He does have the brilliance in attack, but I'm not trying to give the young man a hard time, but I've seen it happen so many times, I'm not surprised.
He just didn't read.
Here's Juni, Brian. Goes for a dart out of acting half. Bonetti elects to do the same, and he gains another 10 metres.
They're really working hard on running from acting half, aren't they, in their own half of the field in this second stanza of the game.
Now Brad Fittler goes for the 40-20 rule, as we've been calling it.
And does it.
Yeah, he does. Bearing in mind, of course, we have a new rule adopted by the ARL this year. If you kick from within your 40 and can get the ball into touch and your opponent's 20, you'll get the loose and the feed. Getting up to play it, I think, is Logan. Long passing the order of the day. Walker got loads of time. Back on the inside to Luke Ricketson, who was tackled across the top by, or down low by John Jones. Across the top, Craig Wilson. Sydney City on a roll. Walker. Long pass to Goulet, who's out there with the three-quarters. Back on the inside to Sinclair. And another four-pointer for Sydney City. It's all starting to come a little easy for them. Oh, so easy. 26 points to 10. That now takes the scoreline to, with 28 minutes remaining in this game, Brian Smith, the floodgates could open here, I get the feeling.
Well, there you see Brad Fittler taking half-back role, Walker out at second receiver, Goulet, the big linchpin on the left side of their attack. A nice variety. Turned the ball. He did do well to get the ball down in the end. It just puts so much pressure on you when a big man like this is lurking out there wide. They feel the need to get to him quickly. He found space, and Sinclair found just fingertip control. Well, what great luxury Phil Gould has with Nathan Wood off.
Look at those stats. South Queensland have made 9 handling errors to Sydney City's 3. Darren Juni comes into the play.
It's a fairly low count, that, though, particularly by modern standards, where there's a fair bit of movement of the ball.
Fittler, long pass to Ivan Cleary. He turns on the pace, but was tackled by Michael Eager. Walker, across field he runs. Linked up with Julian Troy for Sydney City. 30 out now from the South Queensland try line. What can Sydney City do? Walker cuts out a player and ends up finding Luke Ricketson on the fly. Tackled by Pizzette and also Craig Wilson, who is very busy in defence, the lock forward for South Queensland. We've got to pay tribute to him. There's a beautiful pass to Regon. He's going to score another try. He slams the ball down. In fact, that's his second try, as I said, Regon. And that was just beautiful stuff. Another try to Sydney City. 30 points to 10.
He's been nominated in some quarters as the young budding star at this club. And look at him power onto this ball. Great catch. Doesn't he make things look effortless, Andrew Walker? But it's the short Freddie Fittler ball. Rig on at pace. Perfect timing. Tchaikovsky making a tackle, but yet again making it just too close to his own line. He needs to get out and get at him. But look at this for a beautifully weighted pass. The two players there in the Crushers line, unsure of who's going to take it.
If we can get another look at that replay, Regon is actually smiling like a carpet snake in a foul house. About 10 metres before he gets to the line, he's loving it.
I would pace of the two teams has become even more, the difference in pace has become even more evident as the game's gone on.
Yeah, it's starting to look like chalk and cheese now, and the defence is falling apart for South Queensland. We just saw Bonetti pushing would-be tacklers away at will. Here he goes again. He fancied his chances there of making a bust on the far side of the field. Now it's Matt Singh looking around. South Queensland are just not moving up quickly enough. Brad Fittler. See there? Loads of time to do what he wants. He regathers Brad Fittler. Has he got support? He has. To Scott Goulet, who picks it up off the bounce. Goulet charges towards the line, but the cover defence was there for South Queensland when they needed it. Now it's with Walker. Sydney City very much on a roll. He passes the ball to Brad Fittler, who puts through a beautifully weighted kick. It was picked up for South Queensland, I think, by Dave Watson now, and he's slammed on the turf in his own in-goal area.
Hasn't he done that job well? It's not from dummy half that time, but he's been a linchpin in the Roosters going forward well. They were struggling on that early in the game.
Walker to Sinclair. They've worked out a good understanding. Back to Walker. Now on the inside to Robert Miles. He goes close. He's charging at the try line. He was tackled in a try saver. The Roosters machine about to hit top gear. Walker works it back to the centre of the field. They're 10 metres out. Here's Big Goulet. He fancies his chances from acting half. Back to Luke Ricketson. A short, sharp pass to Brad Fittler, who's wrestled to ground by Prothero. That's the last tackle. Walker's in control. Up goes the ball. This will be contested fiercely. Vent's there for South Queensland, but Miles is there for Sydney City, and that certainly will be another 4-pointer. And well done to Miles, who's done nothing wrong in this game, Brian Smith. He deserves that try.
Yeah, he's had limited opportunities, but he's very quick. We just saw a flash of him a moment ago there, where he carried the ball and beat tacklers. He's got dazzling feet. He had the advantage here over over Jason Vent, his opponent, in that he's attacking the ball and got momentum, and it's always easier to jump, and you can jump a little earlier when you're on the run like that. Goulet in the unfamiliar role, but distributing the ball well. A pinpoint accurate bomb by Andrew Walker. And there you see he left the ground just a little bit earlier than Jason Vent. I think Vent was almost Vent was gone. He was no longer having the bounce and spring in the heels that he's had earlier. He's had plenty of work to do in this game.